Hello guys, in this video I am going to show you how you can install and get started with OpenFaas on Docker Swarm. So if you are not familiar with OpenFaas, OpenFaas is a serverless framework for building serverless function with Docker and Kubernetes. It has first class support for metrics. With OpenFaas you can write functions in any language like Python, Node.js, Java, Ruby, and you can also compose any process or binary as a function. It is very simple to use and can run anywhere on private cloud, public cloud, or Raspberry Pi, or even on your local desktop. And Docker Swarm is a container orchestration platform which comes built in with the Docker. So for this tutorial, I am going to use my personal laptop where I'll initialize a single node Docker Swarm cluster uh, and install OpenFaas on that. So to initialize the Docker Swarm cluster, we need to use a Docker swarm init command, which initializes a cluster and makes this node as a master node. So let's go ahead and run this command. Now it initializes this node as a master node, and it also prints a token and command which can be used by other node to join this cluster. Since we are using single node cluster, this token will not use. Now we have installed Docker Swarm cluster. We can go ahead and install OpenFaas. To, to install OpenFaas, we need to clone the OpenFaas repo, which is this repo, uh, and in this repo there is a one click installer script that can be used to install OpenFaas on Docker Swarm. So once this is cloned, we'll go ahead and run that script to install OpenFaas on Docker Swarm. So there is a script called deploy stack.sh. This script is used to install OpenFaas and Swarm, and by default OpenFaas gets deployed with by default OpenFaas gets deployed with basic authentication enabled. So if you want to disable basic authentication, you can use minus minus no auth flag, which will disable the basic authentication. But for this tutorial I am going to use basic authentication enabled. So let's run this. As you can see, it has created username and password. Username is admin and this is a password, and it can be used to access the OpenFaas from CLI, UI, or through API. And it is deploying the list of services that is required to run OpenFaas on Docker Swarm. It will take few minutes. So now it is deploying all the services required by OpenFaas. So it's deploying NATs. NATs is used for making async function invocations, and the queue worker is also used for making the async function invocation, and then Prometheus is used for collecting the metrics of the function, and then we have alert manager that is used for auto scaling your function, and gateway is responsible for accessing your function. So any request to your function goes through gateway, or any kind of request like creating a function, deploying a function goes through gateway. So now that all the services are deployed, we can see the list of services that are running with docker service ls command. So you can see all the services are deployed and are ready with one replicas. And as I told, gateway is the service which is responsible for all kind of requests that goes to OpenFaas. So it's running on port 8080, and if we go to browser and type the public IP of this server and the 8080 will get the gateway running. So let's type. As you can see, it prompted for username and password, and as I mentioned, username is admin and the password is printed there on the screen while installing OpenFaas. Okay, so now we have logged into OpenFaas portal. So this is the UI interface that is comes in built with OpenFaas, which you can use to manage your functions. So you can get the list of functions deployed. Even you can test your functions by just making simple call from here. So we'll use OpenFaas store, which is list of curated function by OpenFaas community, to deploy one function for demo. So scroll down and use, we'll deploy this figlet function. So as you can see, this function is getting deployed, and here you can see the information like status of the function. It is not yet ready, it's getting created, and even the invoke function is grayed out. Once it is deployed, this function will be able to invoke the function. So let's go ahead and invoke the function. Now that we got response, this means the function got deployed and it's working fine. You can see all other information like the number of replicas of the function that is running and the invocation count and even the URL using which you can invoke the function.